Welcome to Bird Camp Radio, where the coveys rise from the high pines, marsh valleys, sagebrush seas, and the shelf rock ledges. Here at camp, the fire's always glowing, the dogs are never far, and the stories of birds, wild places, and the upland life are just beginning. This is Bird Camp Radio. This episode of Bird Camp Radio is brought to you by Worldwide Wingshooter Company. If you've ever dreamed of chasing wild bobwhite quail in Mexico behind great pointing dogs, hunting legendary high-volume doves in Argentina, or experiencing mixed-bag duck and pigeon hunts in Uruguay, or taking on wild chukar and huns in the American West, Worldwide Wingshooter can make it happen. They work with trusted outfitters around the world and help match you with the right hunt. Visit Worldwide Wingshooter Company and start planning your next adventure today. Welcome back, everyone, to the Bird Camp Radio Podcast. I'm your host, Kellen Golightly, and we're excited to be here for episode 46 of Bird Camp Radio. Today we have our good old guest, Jaedon Schwartz, and a little bit earlier he sent in his bio, and I'm going to read that for us real quick. Jaedon Schwartz started out with a GSP he bought on Facebook Marketplace. He trained her himself using YouTube and his own research. Today, she has hunted 4 different states, retrieved birds, and hunts every weekend with him during season. Jaedon is an amateur bird hunter and dog trainer, as well as a full-time dad and full-time military member. He fits bird hunting and training into the time he has between those responsibilities. He is also on a quest to become the fittest upland hunter, using hunting as his way to prepare for his postseason marathons and using his marathons to train for the hunting season. Jaedon, we're excited to have you on, man. How you doing today?
Dude, ecstatic.
Sweet, man. Hey, that's a great way. Upland game is like one of the best ways to get that exercise in, especially during those months when most people are sitting at home just chilling, putting on the weight.
Dude. And yeah, especially because it's so new to me that once you get out there, it wasn't until, I'm at 10,000 feet where I go, wow, okay, yeah, this is not as easy as I thought the videos made it look. I'm like, man, you got to be in shape for this. And then realizing like how many hours I'm doing, looking at the steps, the miles I'm putting in. Granted, it's nothing compared to what my dogs are doing, because I'll look at the Garmin and see like 30 miles. We've only been out here for 4 hours. What are you doing 30 miles?
Dude. It's like, how are they doing it, man?
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I love it. That's half the battle. For me, on a bad day, there's no such thing as a bad day, but at the end of the day, I'm like, heck, dude, I got the freaking exercise in.
Exactly.
It's not a bad day.
Sitting in a tree stand for 8 hours, after that, I'm like, man, I just wasted my time. I didn't see a single buck. But I go, walk and hike for 8 hours. Afterwards, any frustration I've had is gone. I'm tired. I can't even be mad.
It's like, that was well worth it. It's like, I'm gonna sleep tonight, man.
It's just a long walk, Dog's good. We're going home.
Dude, I love it. Hey, we're excited to have you on, and this is going to be a lot of fun. But before we get started and get into what you're doing out there, we want to play a quick game of rapid fire around the campfire with you.
All right.
If you're ready for that, man, here we go.
Let's do it.
Okay, sweet. Favorite wild bird to chase?
Chukar.
Most challenging bird?
Chukar.
Favorite dog trait?
Natural retrieve.
Best bird for eating?
Pheasant.
Go-to field snack?
Oh, man, I'm not going to do this in 30 seconds. Go-to field snack. I usually don't even eat. I'll eat when I get home. So if I wouldn't have a field snack, but as soon as I get home, it's cereal with milk and ice cream.
Oh, let's go. Dream hunting destination.
Say it again?
Dream hunting destination.
South Dakota.
Favorite month to hunt?
October.
Game bag or vest?
Vest.
Solo hunt or with a group?
I like my solo hunts.
There you go. Lead or still shot.
Uh, I've had better luck with lead, but I bought a bunch of steel because the FPS or what is it? Yeah, something like that. It's like 1400. And I'm like, it shoots fast. So it's steel. I'll do it.
There you go, man. Hey, that's all 10 questions. I mean, we'll release that at your time at the end of the podcast. But heck
Okay.
yeah, that's like the hardest question I'm gonna ask all day. So
I should already know those answers just right off the bat.
I know that everybody's like, "Oh, this is gonna be cake," and then you end up like getting,
Yeah, really though.
you know, like, man, what is that? What am I gonna do?
That's
No, I
funny.
agree, man. Like chuckers. I mean, you've hunted Utah. Like, like talk about a dream destination for chucker. I mean, Utah's
Yeah.
pretty much it's the spot, man. And then, I mean, you're running GSPs too. It's like the number one dog here in Utah. I feel like.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, like they range out so far. And if they are steady, you can see your dog 300 yards away, just locked up. There were so many instances that like I'm 200 yards from my dog, can't even see her, but I get a ping on my Garmin saying your dog's on point. And I'm thinking it's another squirrel, it's another lizard, and I get there and boom, she like a bird flushes. It catches me off guard. I can't tell you how many shots I missed because I didn't believe her, and she would just stay locked up. And I'm like, wow, that is just crazy. It's just all the pieces, just fell into play to like absolutely love it. The hard days, the not hard days, the wild hunting, I'll say is the best. Like over any bird hunting versus farm and wild birds,
Oh,
I feel like wild birds are more like I feel like I achieved something.
oh, I completely agree, man. I once hunted over a pen raised pheasants around here, and dude, I'll never do that again.
They're a little
I was like,
slow,
this is too expensive.
too
And
expensive, and I
it's
shouldn't
so
be able to get so close and kick them, right?
yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't make sense. But I am a firm believer that when you are getting a dog like started, their first hunt, having it a farm raised like pen or bird, is super super beneficial just so they can get that smell. Like my youngest, she just turned 1. I'm gonna take her out to the farm nearby and have her get on chucker just so she knows what it smells like before we go wild bird hunting.
Oh,
Because that I just think it's a little smarter that way. I'm willing to pay the hundred bucks to do that because when I took my oldest to do grouse hunting last year, she doesn't know what we're looking for. She smelled nothing but pigeons, so
wow.
she's flushing birds left and right, and I'm like, what? My dog doesn't even know what she's doing. Like my dog's horrible, thinking that, but I'm new to it, not realizing she doesn't know what they smell like. After she figured that out, dude, it was game over.
That's awesome, man. I mean, that's half the fun is like learning. I mean, as soon
Yes.
as I hear somebody say it's like, oh yeah, I got it figured out, I'm like that's where you go wrong. Is as soon as you think you got it figured out, it's like
It's
that's the
like
fun
golf. It's like golf. Oh yeah, I got my swing down. Yeah, sure. Okay. We'll see the next time you go out.
thing. We'll see that next one, that next week, man.
Exactly.
I love it, man. No, that's sweet. And I mean, that the cool thing about that, I mean, you're serving our country out there. I mean, you're based in Nevada right now, is what you said, right?
Correct.
How is that for you? Like being able to upland hunt and then, I mean, serving the country too. Like, how does it work? I'm not sure exactly. I mean, that's quite the job right there,
I
man.
have a really good support system. So I think like my wife, she helps out a lot. Um what sucks about where I live, it's desert, which is good. Like there's quail, right? But most of my hunts, I got to drive 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So I'm up at 3:30 on the Saturday and getting a couple hours in of hunting. Once it gets too hot, 11 o'clock, I'm headed home so I can hang out with the family. So I have to sacrifice some time to make sure it works. But that's how I knew I loved it. Is I was willing to get up on my weekends earlier than I do for my work days to go do this with the chance of not even finding anything, right? And so that that is when I knew like, this is what passion feels like. Because I feel like people spend a lot of their lives chasing something. They switch to different things. They haven't felt that passion before. And I was that guy, switching different hobbies. I kind of don't enjoy this one anymore. But this bird dog stuff, dude, it's stuck like, man, glue, like P3000. I think that's what that glue is. Something like that.
I love it, man. So where did it all begin for you? I mean, it's kind of a newer thing for you, and I mean, like you said, as soon as you got into it, you realized that it could be a passion for you and just love it, willing to get out there and grind. Where did it all begin?
So where it all began, because I didn't grow up hunting. I mean, I was a military brat. I spent most of my life overseas, so hunting was not an activity I could like indulge into. Um, so my buddy took me dove hunting. My buddy Tyler, he took me dove hunting for the first time. We went down to Arizona as for his family's Thanksgiving, and we just went on a piece of property, which I thought was interesting. But we were able to hunt it. I was confused. I didn't. I just trusted they're from there. This is what they do. So we go out, and man, I had never been so locked in my life. We all grabbed a garbage bag and they shot each like probably like six, and I shot 16.
Oh,
And dude, it was insane. The amount of jalapeno dove poppers we had after that was crazy. But I felt like I was a bird dog in that case. Dude, every bird that would fly by, I'm like, is that a dove? Because I don't know what I'm looking for. We're just like, I'd never seen a dove in my life. They just say, here's your shotgun, find the doves, go shoot them. So I'm like, okay, but it was filled with doves, which was insane to me. I'm like, how do you know that? So every time I would shoot a bird, I wouldn't know where it landed. And I'm like, this is probably why they use dogs. And I'm like, ah. So at the time, I was just dating my wife, and I brought that up. I said, I really want to get a bird dog. I think it'd be fun. So she got me a bird dog for my birthday,
wow, there you
and
go.
it popped up on Facebook. I was at work, and she called me. She goes, "Hey, I just found a GSP on Facebook for I think she was $600." I'm like, "Is it a sign?" And so she's like, so she bought it for my birthday. Well, the GSP was out in Logan, so we went up to Provo or Salt Lake, and we met them halfway because Logan's like at the top, right? And we
Right
drove
next to
through it.
me.
Really? Okay, so
Yeah.
you're that far north.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so you know how the snow can get, right?
Oh
We drove through that like a snowstorm, black ice. Like I'm telling myself, this dog better be worth it because my family's in the car and like I feel like we're gonna skid out. I couldn't see. So they met us halfway. I can't even remember what halfway point was, but they had a dog park. We met at a dog park, and Juniper, she's 5 months old. They have her at the dog park, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's her. So we picked her up, and we went to Petco. I knew that she was going to be somewhat just like nervous because she's 5 months old. She'd been with the family for a minute. Like that's a long time. You can like get attached, right? I knew she was going to cry, so we went to Petco, got like a bed, some chews, some like relaxation chews. Like they use the hemp and stuff like that. Just calming chews to help the ride. Um, because I heard that GSPs were anxious. Like I'd been reading up on the breed. I knew which type of bird dog I wanted, so I read they were anxious. I'm like, okay, yeah. So we drove back home and we lived in a townhouse. Dude, I kid you not, the amount of times that I told my wife, like, I need to give this dog away, I am not giving her exactly what she needs, was unreal. And I was running with her like miles. She was keeping me accountable, but she is just so driven that she was giving me anxiety. I was just constantly feeling like you are not being used for what you want to do. And so joined the military, and I had my wife get her fixed while I went to like basic training because I'm thinking maybe that'll help. Waited till she was 2 years old to do that. I wanted her to be fully grown. So I'm like, okay, my wife's home. She's pregnant. We also have a toddler, and she's got Juniper. I'm like, that is an absolute nightmare because Juniper she will pace. If you do not have her like just laying on a bed just to do nothing, she will pace and it will drive you crazy. She's the type of dog, like, she don't want to play with you. She will grab something, pick it up, hand it to you so you can throw it to her. I'm kid you not, she goes outside in the back. I have no toys. She picks up rocks, comes and brings them to me. I'm like, this is great because she doesn't mouth the rocks, right? So I'm like, I'm teaching her that she's not, I'll throw rocks all day for her. Then I'm teaching her to have a softer mouth. But she will, pick up those rocks, putting her head on the side of the ground to pick it up on like smoothly. She's a legit crackhead. But I have her outlet now. So when I got to Vegas, I told my wife, I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I don't have my hunting buddy Tyler. He lives up in Utah, and so she threw me, basically pimped me out on Facebook and said, "Hey, my husband needs a hunting buddy." And then we are driving. I didn't know she did that. And she goes, "Hey, I found you a friend." I'm like, "What?" She said, "I found you a hunting buddy." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh. Because when you go hunting with people, like it's therapeutic, right? So you can't just hunt with everybody. You kind of are like selective a little bit on who you're hunting with, right? Because those campfire stories, the time around the campfire has got to be a good time. So it's not just like everybody. And so we met at a casino. His wife and him were there, and we were just talking bird dogs. Well, he had a dog that was trained by his name's Jared, out Best Gun Dogs down in Beaver, Utah, and he showed me his little. Her name was Josie. She was a little Springer Spaniel, and this dog was just the most obedient thing I ever seen in my life. I was like, "What the heck?" He brought her over to this area that we have out here, and he just showed me one quick drill. It's called "Come Go with Me." It's or the zigzag method. It's a Delmar Smith type of method. Very all nonverbal stuff, and I started doing that with Juniper, and I watched just the connection of her making these moves after I would turn and her zigzag, that I was like, this is the craziest thing. I am like controlling her with my body, and she's doing exactly what I'm doing and what I want her to do. And it was the craziest thing. It's like synchronized swimming. And I'm just like, and I say nothing. I'm like, okay, whoa, and only 15 minutes a day? That's what he told me. No, he told me 20 minutes a day. That's all you need, and you can have a bird dog. I'm like, 20 minutes a day? No way. So I started with that. 20 minutes, set my alarm. 20 minutes on the timer. Did 20 minutes. My dog was zonked just
Wow.
after the first time. Bro, she was so tired because it was mentally stimulating for her to go back and forth, check on me, switch, come back, doing all this like movements without saying a word. It stimulated her mentally to the point where like she was good. 20 minutes. And like after that, YouTube, Standing Stone Kennels, anything I could find on YouTube to try and like, okay, what about this? I'd look up questions, and find videos, trial and error, force fetch. Oh, what's that? Ear pinch, toe hitch. Try the ear pinch. I don't like how my dog reacts. Toe hitch. Oh, my dog doesn't react that bad. She knows exactly what I'm talking. Just all these different methods. And she was my guinea pig for it. But she wanted to train so bad. So I was able to learn so much through her, but it all just fell like in place in a weird way because I'd come home. First thing I'm doing is I'm grabbing Juniper, I'm going outside, and then doing that work, coming back inside, hanging out with the family. I would
That's
be
awesome.
watching videos till 10:30. My wife goes, "You're addicted." I go, "I am. No, I really am." But then I'm thinking like, okay, well, is this just another hobby that I'm gonna get like super into and then stop doing? So, hunting season, and when I first started, it was during hunting season. So I got two hunts in, but I went to a farm for her at the very end. I trained her all through hunting season because I wanted her to be ready for the next hunting season. But I thought she was pretty good, and so I brought her to a farm. And the first time that like she locked up on a bird, it blew my mind because it was chucker, it was planted. That I went over, flushed the bird. My gun was on safety because I was so new. I had no idea what I was doing. Like I was just amazed that my dog did that. And my buddy David, he came out and he photographed it and whatnot. So he's got the farm has this little like training area, and he was up on the top of the hill taking photos, and she just did it exactly what like I would expect it. I almost broke down in tears. Um, and so I took her out the next weekend after that because they're about to close up. I got one more hunted, and so hunted her. And then we took off the summer. So I think I took a little bit of a break. I can't remember exactly the timeline, but as it started to warm up, I knew, oh, I was supposed to get deployed. So I was supposed to get deployed. And so I'm telling David, I'm like, dude, like, I need you to take her out. Like, would you be willing to take her out? So I wasn't really training her. I was kind of just focused on other things. The deployment ended up falling through, and so boom, we're hitting the pavement. And now a month before grouse season, my buddy David invited me to grouse camp. So I got to go meet Jared from Best Gone Dogs, who helped train his dog and his other two GSPs that he has. And so I got to meet him, which was super cool. He's a really good guy. But and when we got to grouse camp, first ever hunt, Juniper's real first ever hunt. We'd never been on wild birds. So like I'm sitting with these guys who have hunted before, and I'm the newbie. So I kind of felt a little out of place. And because I'm just kind of like nervous energy of like, I don't want to be that bad story of like, the guy, because Jared will always talk, you'll hear on his Instagram, he'll tell the story about the guy who opens his tailgate and his dog just goes boom and leaves. Like no obedience, right? And so I'm like, very like is making sure Juniper's, doing things right. Right. I was just kind of stressed out. But the first day, then she's flushing birds, you know? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I don't know what I'm doing. Like I thought I trained her. I guess I didn't. And then the second day we go out. Well, the first day, um, morning, it was insane. She's just flushing birds. I'm trying to shoot them. I'm not hitting anything. So like it was just kind of frustrating. And then we go out in the afternoon. And she doesn't point anything. I see a bird, but I see it. And so I shoot it. She retrieves it and brings it back. Great. But then Jared's son I was hunting with, another bird picks up after the shot. So I shoot that, or sorry, he shoots that bird. I go, shoot it. Because I had used my two shots of my over under. I go, shoot it. Dude, just boom, shoots it. And Juniper's like running around, doesn't know where it is. I say, fetch. And that girl just takes off, zigzag, zigzag, picks up the bird, brings it back. I'm like, she didn't even see it fall. But she just like, we had done so much fetch work. That's exactly what you do it for. People are always like, oh, why are you trying to force a dog that's like, they're bred for that? It's for that right there. It's like, I say fetch, and there's something out there for you to find. I'm not just pulling your leg because that's what that command is for. And the next morning, everybody was so tired. They were still staying out there a couple more days. So I was the only one that got up. And I went out and I hunted by myself, just me and her. So no stress. All the mistakes I made or mistakes I would make, no one would know about, right? No one's there to like witness it. So I'm cool, stress free. It's all good. And I have my van. So my wife and we got a van because I'm like, I could put a mattress in here and use it as a camper. So that's what I slept in for grouse camp is my van. I put my dog's kennel in and my son's mattress, and so he slept with my wife while I was out for 3 days. And I took her out on the trail behind the camp because I'm not going to pick up the van and try and go do the trails. It already had highway tires on it. I was kind of skirting the line at that point. So I go up to the trail that we ended up shooting the bird the prior day. And dude, Junie goes through. I look on Onyx. I see an opening. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna cut this way. So we go in that opening. Boom! Right as it opens up, this girl stops and points, and I'm like, no way. I move up. It's a squirrel. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, Junie, leave it. She leaves it, and then she gets on point again, and I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. After that, grouse. Another grouse, third grouse. I'm like, what the heck? So I shoot one of them, but I missed the other two. And I'm like, first bird, now the adrenaline's pumping. There's birds out there. You tell yourself, if there's one, if there's three, there's more. So I keep going. Boom. She gets on point again. All right, well, I go up, grouse, shoots it. I limited out that morning, and she pointed out every single bird. But it was that realization that she didn't know what we were looking for. So we're just out in the woods, right? And then all of a sudden, things are flying. And so she's starting to connect that, oh, that's what the pigeons would do when I would point. Okay, so then she would hit these scents. Squirrel, leave it. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Now, boom, different scent. Because I don't know what it was. Maybe just, accumulation of just different scents in the forest, right? So many animals go through that. Bucks, I mean, I don't think, yeah, I mean, beaver has elk, I believe. I know they got massive bucks. So, different like scents. And so she's just trying to figure out what the heck are we out here for? And so once she dialed it in, dude, it was after that, like anytime I went to Beaver, she knew exactly what we were looking for. But she did the same thing when we'd go look for like chucker, right? So quail. Quail was another thing. She's like, what am I looking for? We're out in the desert. And then finally once she gets it, she's like, oh. So it was all these pieces and just watching her work, like I just let her go. I let her do her thing. And then once I get a notification she's on point, I track it, look where she's at. I see her little tail going a million miles per hour like a hummingbird. I'm like, oh, she's got something. And she just, by the end of the season, she wasn't pointing at rabbits. She wasn't pointing at squirrels. She was pointing at everything that we were looking for. And if she wasn't pointing, she was looking for it. And it just absolutely blew my mind. I told my wife after the first chucker hunt in October of last year, I said, you know what'd be cool? A second one. But it was more of like I wanted to test to see, like, was Juniper just like luck? Was she just a miracle? Like I shouldn't know what I'm doing, right? I mean, they say it's consistency. Just discipline yourself when it comes to training a dog. But you can consistently be bad at doing something. It's not. You can eventually get it, but for it to be like as quick as I felt it was, I'm like, okay, well, she was 5 months old. I started her at 2 years of training her. Maybe she's a little more like mature. So we got a puppy, 3 months old. So started her early. And this dog, oh my gosh, she's great. Like I cannot wait. I took her out at 6 months for the last two of Junie's hunts, and she's honoring points at 6 months old in the Chucker Mountains. Like this girl's keeping up. Anybody would tell me I'm freaking crazy for bringing her like that far, but man, she kept up, and now she's like the size of a Great Dane, which joint problems in the near future, but hopefully we can get on that early. But yeah, two dogs. And I'm like, okay, so I get her trained up. She's steady. I'm like, wow, this is interesting. So then I start dabbling in training other dogs just to see, like, no, it's just luck, right? And so my buddy's brother, he asked me to train his dog for waterfowl. Now we're going to like ground zero. I've never hunted waterfowl in my
Right.
life.
Completely different.
Yeah, completely different. So now I feel like I'm doing it all over again. I've never hunted ducks. I live in the desert. Where's the water going to be? But then I said to myself, I'm like, man, if I can do it here, then I can do it. If you put me in a location that has resources, then it's probably something that I'd be able to like handle versus having limited resources, having to be like a little more creative. So just one thing after another just kept me on this like grind of bird dogs, and it just hasn't like stopped because now I have a dog right now from a guy who found me on Instagram, and I'm just training his dog. It's just one of those things like, hey, dude, I will get her to where I think she's huntable to my expectations, right? I'm not going to train you a field dog. Like I can't do that because I wouldn't train for field trials myself. It's just not something I'm interested in. But I can get her started where you can have fun with her. And he's like, absolutely. So she is now at my house. She goes home this weekend. But just watching her like grow, and now I'll be able to go on her first hunt. He's coming with me. We're going to grouse camp, basically our own grouse camp coming up, and it'll be her first hunt. And I'm like, dude, like any mistake she makes, it's fine because that hunt will teach her. And I didn't realize that. So
Well,
it just one thing after another that just hasn't had any breaks for me to be like, I don't really like this. It's all been like I committed to training your dog. Therefore, I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna train whether I wake up this morning and don't want to do it. I will get up. And like I said, dude, I'm up at 5 a.m. I'm checking the humidity, like I'm doing all my like research, and I'm enjoying it. Right. I don't have to be up at 5 a.m. I could wake up an hour later because my work doesn't expect me until like around 8:30.
right.
So I'm doing it for them, and then it's all just it helps me grow because now I'm more patient. Being able to train something that has no idea what you're talking about. You get frustrated, right? But then you start to have a little more self-control on that frustration, and then be patient, and then it all transfers into my relationship with my wife, my kids, and it's just been this all around like finding bird dogs was like a huge blessing. Just
Dude, that's awesome, man. That is
yeah,
awesome. That is
and
quite the story.
oh, dude, and the best part was last Christmas. Because I didn't grow up hunting. My dad didn't hunt as a kid. My grandpa hunted, but he hunted as a way to, you know, escape the family. Our family's a lot, right? Um, and so my dad never got to hunt. I got to take him on his first hunt ever. So we just went to the farm. It was a pheasant farm, controlled. I didn't want to take my dad on the, Chucker Mountains, dude. It's kind of something you got to prepare for, right? So pheasant hunting at a farm, it's all flat, right? And I got to take him. And I mean, I'm very biased, right? But hunting behind a dog, there is nothing like that. Like you can go hunt for any animal, but to me, hunting behind an animal that's honing into its natural instincts when most dogs you come across are domesticated, it's very rare that you get a hunt behind a dog, an animal that's doing a job, unless you live that life your whole life. But my dad never got to experience that life, and so his first time hunting was behind Juniper. So it all just like trickle effect, just constantly down to every single moment with bird dogs has just been a positive moment.
Dang, man, that is awesome. Like the complete transition. I mean, getting into it, um, getting a dog off a marketplace. Let's go. Like
Oh,
that's
dude,
awesome. That is
well, I thought
awesome.
that's what you do, dude. I
That
thought
is
that's
awesome.
what you do. I swear, when I hear someone get a dog from a breeder, I'm like, nah, you're just paying overpriced. And then as you get into it, like if you want a good dog, you kind of do go to a breeder, especially if you want a hunting dog. And I realized that. So we did go to a breeder for my youngest, but she was the same concept. It's like my wife saw her impulse. The dog was on sale. The buyer fell through. Same with Juniper. Buyer fell through, and we are like, oh, it must be meant to be. It's local. I was gonna get basically a sibling of Juniper or cousin, I guess you could say, because I already knew her drive. And I'm glad I didn't because my other GSP is much more calm, and but her button, her switch when she gets out and starts looking for stuff, dude, it's like Scrappy Doo when he like puts on the mask, and all of a sudden he just gets jacked. Dude, her muscles just like evolve. But at home, she's just the most sensitive thing. But when she's out hunting, like just looking for pigeons, oh, dude, it is phenomenal to see. So I'm like, we technically went to a breeder. I didn't do any research, but if you look on his page, he's got a show dog. And I guess it's a strong bloodline. I'm not 100% sure, but I was just ready to try it all over again. Because to me, Juniper was good enough. I didn't need anything more from her. She was everything that I ever wanted.
Right.
And so now it was like, okay, did I just get lucky? Was I just gifted a miracle for $600? But in reality, like, I don't know what I'm doing. So then fast forward, now I'm doing it all over again during hunting season and got her spun up to be able to, she's not gun shy. Which the planes that fly over my house, I honestly think help because I got F-16s flying over and they rattle the house, and so these dogs are out back. And so by a young age, she's already like hearing noises at high decibels, right? So these gunshots, what are those? Um, get her on birds super early. And it all just fell into place that I'm like, man, I cannot wait for this hunting season.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Like that's crazy. Like, and now you're out there training other guys' dogs. All right, everyone. Quick shout out to our friends at Pet Commute. If you ever tried coordinating dog transport yourself, you know it's not simple. Whether it's a new pup coming home, a finished dog heading to a buyer, a field trial trip, or even, let's be honest, your wife needing her little mutt transported safely, Pet Commute handles it professionally. Rachel and I have personally transported with them, and I can confidently say they are reliable, safe, punctual, and they keep owners updated the entire trip. They offer free quotes, and if you mention Bird Camp Radio, you'll get 10% off your pet's travel. Hit the link in the show notes, comments, or our socials. You went from being the getting mentored to being the mentor now and helping other guys do it and their dogs. That's sweet, man. And even
Oh,
jumping in.
dude, yeah. And I will never claim to be professional. Like all this stuff, I'm just learning. I really just started my Instagram because I always thought you had to be rich to hunt. I really like that was my perspective on hunting because there's too many people out there that are like, oh, I just got this new hunting rig, or let me build this new hunting rig. It's like, "Oh, I got a family. I don't got money to buy a new truck just to hunt. So like to me, it was, hey, I have a job. I'm in the military. I have 2 kids under the ages of 5. I have a wife, but I can still do it. And so for people out there who are like, I don't have the time, it's like I want to be that person to show you, hey, you do have the time. You just got to do it. And so just, the videos that I would make is just all just who I am. I'm willing to throw a video out there that's willing to get, comments saying, "Oh, this is horrible," or "Why would you do that?" But in reality, it's like, well, this stuff has been done for years. Maybe there is other ways to do it. There's a
Oh,
thousand ways to skin a cat, but at the end of the day, I'm going to show you what I did with the lack of experience that I have that worked. And then take what you want from it, do it yourself, don't. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to show you that you still can do it, whether you got money or you're living paycheck to paycheck. You just got to believe in yourself.
I love it, man. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, that's kind of like the whole point of the podcast is bring guys on from. I think we've had 24 different states, or at least by the end of the year, 24 different states. Everybody else does. Everybody does it differently.
Yes.
Everybody does, and it's
Yes.
all about like, are you out there having a good time? It all comes back to having a good time, making good memories with the people you love and the dogs
100%.
you love. And like you said, I mean, it's working for you. And you know what? That's all that matters. You're out there having a good time. that's
Right.
that's all it's all about, man. Is being able to. I mean, for you going from the ground up and look at what you've been able to make for yourself and being able
Right.
to get into a family unit too. That's sweet.
Oh, dude. And the best thing is, I don't clean my birds out. At, I'll throw them in a like ice box because I come home and my sons clean my birds with me.
There we go. See?
So it's a family thing. Like even though I can't take them right now because Chugger Hills or the desert is just brutal, right? And so uh, I make sure to still bring that experience back, so that my sons are ready for that. They look forward to that. Dad, how many birds did you get? Even if it's just one. Like I won't eat at grouse camp. Well, I
Oh,
won't eat the birds at grouse camp unless we get a lot. Then we'll cut up a few and eat. But I'm not the biggest fan of grouse. I think it tastes a little dirty. But I will bring them back and I will still eat them. I just not the legs. They're too brittle.
oh,
But I will still eat them. But I'll clean them with my kids. And it's so funny to watch like my son's face when we clean it, because the first time I brought it back to the last time, it was a total different experience. He knew what we were doing versus like, what is this? And now it's like, hey dad, I want to help you clean these birds. So it's just that's also why I do it, is because I didn't get to grow up on it, and I really wish I did, because there's so much that a person can bring when they've grown up on something,
yeah.
versus like learning so late in life which there's nothing wrong with that, but there's so much to learn and you never really learn it all. So it's like the least I could do is try and get my kids on it. And maybe if they decide, video games and that's their lifestyle, whatever, they want to play sports, and they don't want to wrestle, whatever I decide I want to push them towards and they choose the opposite, that's okay. The least I could do is introduce them.
Oh, exactly. And after that, it's like those are memories that they'll always remember. They'll always
Right.
appreciate those, right? And that's the fun thing. It's something that they have to look forward to now, and being able to see that. Like you
Oh,
said,
yeah.
giving them something that you weren't able to have, and I mean,
Right.
you kind of get to live that through them almost in that way too. So it's kind of fun being able to see that.
Well, it's funny that bird hunting, what it's done to me is make those states that nobody wants to live at the states that I would love to live at. Like I would I joined the military actually to be a nurse, and one of the schools that I'm planning on going to is in South Dakota. And so if I make it into the program, I'll go to South Dakota State University. And everybody's like, "Oh, why would you do that?" I'm like, "Partly because you said, why would you do that?" Meaning that I'm not going to have you there. Yeah, so and it's bird capital of the world, right? North of the Dakotas, dude, that's like pheasant central. Go walk outside your house. I'm used to driving 3 hours to go hunt birds. I would love to walk down the street. So let me do that for a couple years
Oh,
before, I don't, school's only a couple years expiration date, and the military's going to send me wherever they want me to. So at least I get to spend a couple years walking right outside, go shoot a couple birds, and we got breakfast. And
exactly right, man. Take advantage, you know?
yes, but people call me crazy. My parents, they're like, why would you move to South Dakota? It's cold. Like, no, because the options are North Carolina for school and South Dakota. People are like, North Carolina's beautiful. I'm like, yes, but what's the upland birds like? Yeah, so
I love it. I love it, man. No, that is so awesome. And this has been a lot of fun being able to get to know you and what you're doing out there. Um,
oh,
that is just crazy, man. That's a fun story. But before we close out, I always like to ask a question. I mean, I'm interested to see what you say now that knowing that you're newer to it, is what kind of advice would you give to new upland hunters or uplanders who have been in the tradition for who knows how long? And I mean, you can answer that both ways, however you want to.
new advice. Um, the one thing I see a lot that I agree with is don't compare your dogs to other dogs. So I know some people they upland hunt, they don't use dogs. I've hunted with a couple of those. They just flush birds by themselves, and that's something you can do. You don't need. I guess that's a piece of advice. You don't even need a dog to upland hunt. It helps, right? But if you want to get into it, I guarantee the first day you go, you'll be like, all right, I'm ready to get a dog. But if you do get a dog, know that there are resources out there, like courses that you can go off of that are actually very quality. But at the same time, you can also YouTube it and just fail and succeed and fail and succeed because it just builds a bond through you and your dog. Um, there's not really much I can say to like season upland hunters, but at the end of the day, the best gear, the person who has the best gear out there doesn't mean they're the best hunters. So you can run a vest that costs you $80 and shoot the most birds, but at the end of the day, as long as you're having fun, do that for the cheapest way possible because that way you can go out more. Gas is not cheap nowadays, so
That's
the,
right.
spend that gear money on gas.
Yeah, you don't need the expensive stuff. No, I
No,
love
take a garbage bag, strap it to your belt, or something.
you could just I mean that's true, it's definitely true, and that I mean that's great advice. I mean mentorship in whatever way that you possibly can get it, whether that's a person, YouTube like you were saying, through courses. I mean there's so much good information out there, and there's some bad information, but for the most part there's a lot of good information, and that's half the fun is learning through the bad stuff too. I mean
I
it's a
think
live and learn.
yes, and I think another good piece of advice is take advantage of the biologists in your area, um, because I didn't realize like most of the spots that I got that I'm gonna hunt this season, I got from biologists. I would just reach out to like what is it? ND. I can't remember what NDOR or something out in Nevada. It was the DWR out in Utah.
Yep.
And reach out to that biologist for that area. Just ask them their advice. Like, hey, where would you hunt, and where would you like go for this? I mean, I literally reached out to a biologist in Utah, and he gave me three different locations. This was my last hunt. I went to one of the locations, saw nothing. I went to that second location that he told me to do, the mountain range, and I literally found a honey hole. So I marked that on my Onyx, and I'll be up there when it opens up for Chucker in Utah. So take advantage of those biologists. That's what they go to school for. So they're a huge resource because, man, hunters like to gatekeep, and like that's fine. Like gatekeep your spots, but like I can understand that for like a 10 point like buck.
Uh-huh.
But for birds, come on now. There's so many of them. Like I don't really
That's
care.
everywhere.
I give away my waypoints. If someone asks me and they really want to go out, dude, you got to drive to where I'm going to give you. So why not give it to you? Like if you're willing to drive that far, dude, I'll give you my waypoints. I don't care because at the end of the day, there are so many things trying to take away like land and hunters that if I can get you into the sport, you're just another voice to, bring out the purpose of why we all do it, right? You're just adding to the fire to keep things being taken away from us. So ask for my waypoints. I'll help you out. I really don't care. It's all love.
Oh, I love it, man. I mean, it's true, like you said. I mean, at the end of the day, everything is, especially here in Utah, it's definitely under attack with public lands.
Yes,
It's the more you said, the more people we have underneath that fire to keep it going. I mean, we don't want it to die with us, that's for sure. I want to be able to. I mean, you have kids of your own, hopefully soon for me as well, and I want them to be able to have that opportunity too, and their kids, and keep the
exactly.
generations going, man.
Exactly. I want them to be able to tell stories. I don't want to be I don't want to have to die with my stories. I want to be
That's
able
for sure.
to like hear the new ones, like and see it evolve. I don't want it to dissolve,
Right, right. No, I completely agree, man. I mean, this is great advice. I mean, especially biologists. I mean, I know here in Utah, and I think most areas they have actual upland game coordinators who are out
Yeah,
there as biologists out there dealing just with that. So there's
100%.
a lot of good advice from those guys. I mean, they're the ones out there, like you said, going to school to do it. If there's anybody
Yeah.
that knows the bird.
Right. I mean, how else are we going to know what the hatch rates are, right? Is those people, they figure that out. They put out that information, whether there's good hatches or how many, ratio. I don't know what they do to check that out, but man, those are the people. They're knowledgeable about that. And I haven't met like a rude one. I literally
Right,
have reached out to many of them, and they all are cordial and super nice and very helpful. They don't always give you spots that you're going to find stuff, but that's just hunting in general. But they're going to lead you to a direction of where you can cross that off of, hey, this, layout of the land was just not what it probably would be to find the bird that I'm looking for, whatever. I had a biologist tell me to hunt this certain mountain range. And then when I went back to check his email, he told me make sure you don't hunt in the rocky side of the mountain range. And I hunted the rocky side of the mountain range and found nothing. So sometimes checking those emails before you go out is also a good piece of advice. Instead of just going, because that was a pain. I even took my kids. I had my son in my on my back, and my wife had my other son on her back, and we hiked up this steep mountain. I'm like on my hands and knees crawling, and I'm just like, man, we better find something just to turn around and find out that I was on the wrong side of the mountain.
oh,
So,
you gotta love it. You gotta.
trial and error, right?
That's awesome, man. Well, we appreciate your time and willingness to come onto the podcast, man. This has been a lot of fun getting to know you and what you're doing out there within the upland game world. So thank you again, man, for sharing your story.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so glad to be on. This was awesome. This was, I mean, probably a year in the making,
For
almost.
sure.
Yeah, dude.
Heck yeah, man. It was awesome. Thank you again, everyone, for listening to the Bird Camp Radio Podcast. I hope you enjoyed episode 46 with Jaedon as much as we did. But before you go, we need to release his time for the rapid fire around the campfire game. Jaedon, your time was 1.16 seconds, which puts you in 38th place overall. Once again, everybody, thank you. You know where to find us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. As well, you can watch this on YouTube now, on our YouTube channel at Bird Camp Radio. Thank you again. Until next time. You've been listening to Bird Camp Radio, where the high pines, marsh valleys, sagebrush seas, and shelf rock ledges always call us back. Until next time, keep your dogs close, your shot true, and your campfire stories ready to share. We'll see you back at camp. Don't miss out on the next episode, where we'll host our next guest on the podcast. You don't want to miss this one. Thank you.